Okay guys, we will continue the lesson. For this time I will talking about inflection points for further analysis and also inflection line. Not all of stationary points can be called inflection points even though the condition of y double accent equals to 0 already fulfilled, or the second differentiation is already fulfilled. We need further analysis to make sure that it can be called inflection points. There are certain conditions for which a point can be called inflection point. So for the first one is the second differentiation should be equals to 0, or you can say y double accent equals to 0. And the second one is the sign of the y double accent for x for the value of x less than and more than the abscissa of the inflection point is changed. So for example, from negative become positive, or from positive become negative. Note that the change of sign of y double accent shows the change of concavity of a curve. So the y double accent or the second differentiation is showing the concavity for which the curve is, whether the curve is concave up or concave down. So it shows the concavity, but you will learn that later in the university. So step to find the equation of inflection line. Now we are talking about the step to find the equation of inflection line. First you have to find the inflection point. Next you have to find the gradient using the y-axis like the tangent line, and then the third one will be the equation of the line y minus y1 equals to m in bracket x minus x1. Of course, for the gradient you have to use the gradient of the inflection line you got from the second step. Next is example 1. For y equals to x cubed minus 6x squared plus 9x, find the inflection points and the inflection line equation. Okay, so for the first step you will have to differentiate the y-axis become 3x squared minus 12x plus 9. To find the inflection point we already know the condition. The condition is the second differentiation have to be equals to 0. So we have to find the y double accent. Y double accent equals to 6x minus 12, and the condition is have to be 0. So the third one, you have to make the y double accent equals to 0. 0 equals to 6x minus 12. And then move the 12 to the left side. 12 equals to 6x, and then divide by 6. You will get x equals to 2. After that, don't forget, because the question wants you to find the inflection points, that means you have to find the y also. So to find the y, you have to put the x into the equations, the curve equations, x cubed minus 6x squared plus 9x. So when x equals to 2, the value of y will be 2 cubed 8 minus 24 plus 18. So y will be 26 minus 24 equals to 2. From this one we already have a point. I will not say this one is the inflection point. I just got a point, not inflection point. We don't know yet. So to find to determine whether the point is inflection point or not, we have to use the second condition. What is the second condition? The second condition is the change of the value of the y double accent, before and after x equals to 2. Because we already have the value of x, the abscissa of the point x equals to 2. That means we have to find the value of y double accent before and after. Before x equals to 2 and after the x equals to 2. So we can say that before x equals to 2, maybe x equals to 1. For x equals to 1, the y double accent will be 6 times 1 minus 12. 6 times 1 minus 12. Okay, so the value will be negative 6. And then for x more than 2, you will have x equals to 3. For x equals to 3, you will have y double accent equals to 6 times 3 minus 12. So y double accent will be what is this? 18.6, yeah. So before the x equals to 2, the sign is negative, and after the x equals to 2, the sign is positive. So there are change of the sign, yeah. Because the sign is changed, because the sign is changed, that means this point is inflection point. So the inflection point is 2,2. And what happens when the sign is not changed? When the sign is not changed, that means the point is not inflection point, yeah. But maybe the points will be a maximum point or minimum point. We don't know yet, so we have to test it using the sketch, yeah. You have to sketch the increasing decreasing function, and then you will know that the point is maximum or minimum. Okay, so that is how you find the inflection point and to make sure that the point is inflection point. Next is inflection line equation. To find equation, of course, you have to find the gradient of the line. To find the gradient of the line, you have to put the x into the y-axis. Y-axis will be 3x squared minus 12x plus 9, yeah. So the value of x is x equals to 2. When x equals to 2, the value of y-axis will be 3 times 2 square minus 12 times 2 plus 9. So the answer will be 12 minus 24, negative 12, negative 3, yeah. And this is the gradient. We already know that the y-axis is equal to gradient when you substitute the x, right? So we have the gradient equals to negative 3, and then we have the point also. The point of the inflection point is 2,2. So the equation will be y minus y1 equals to m in the bracket x minus x1. So y minus 2 equals to negative 3 in the bracket 2 minus 2. So you'll have y equals to negative, this one is x, negative 3x plus 6 plus 2, yeah. So y will be negative 3x plus 8. So this one is the equation of line at the inflection point. And the next one is example 2. For y equals to x to the power of 4 minus 2x to the power of 3, find the inflection points and the inflection line equation. Okay, so first we have to find the inflection point. To find the inflection point, as usual, you have to differentiate it first. So you will have 4x cubed minus 6x squared, yeah. After that, of course, the second differentiation, you will have 12x squared minus 12x. Okay. To find the inflection points, you have to use the first condition. The first condition for the inflection points will be y double accent equals to 0, 12x squared minus 12x. And then after that, you can factorize the 12x in the bracket of x minus 1. So from this one, you will have x equals to 0. And from this one, you will have x equals to 1. And then for the second condition, oh no, we are not there yet, yeah. So we have to find the point first. To find the point, you have to put the x equals to 0 into the y, yeah. So the value will be 0 to the power of 4 minus 2 times 0 to the power of 3. So y will be equals to 0. And for this one, x equals to 1, the value of y will be 1 to the power of 4 negative 2 to the power times 1 to the power of 3. So the y will be negative 1. Okay. At this moment, we already have 2 points, 0, 0, and also 1, negative 1. Next, we have to determine whether both of them is inflection point or not. Next is we have to use the second condition to determine whether the point is inflection point or not, which is for x equals to 0. For x equals to 0, we have to find the before and the after, yeah. before and the after. Let's say that before is x equals to -1 and after is x equals to, we cannot say x equals to 1, yeah, because 1 is already there. We have to use half. And we cannot use more than 1, yeah, because more than 1 will we will be used later for the second point. So for now, we will use the -1 and half. For the -1, the result will be 12 times the value of the y double accent will be 12 times 1 minus 12 times -1, and this one will be positive. And for the second x, you will have 12 times 1 over 4 minus 12 times half, and the value will be negative. Yeah, so there are change of sign. So we already know that this one will be inflection point. Inflection. And for the second point, we have 1 comma -1. For this one, x equals to 1. And the before and after is before and after, ya. Before itu x equals to, let's say, half. We already have half. Let's use half, yeah, so we will not have to calculate again. So we already know for the x equals to half, the value of y double accent is negative, and the value of y double accent for x equals to 2 will be, I think it's positive, yeah, positive. So there are change of sign again. So this one also inflection point. Okay, we already know that both is inflection point. Next is to find the inflection line. To find the inflection line, you have to use the y-accent to find the gradient. Yeah, y-accent for x cubed minus 6x squared. Okay, good. Next is the point. The first point is x equals to 0. And the second point is x equals to 1. Okay, when x equals to 0, the value of y-accent will be 0 also. And when x equals to 1, the value of y-accent will be -2. Yeah, -2. So the gradient will be 0 for this one, and the gradient -2 for that one. Okay, next is y minus y1 equals to m in the bracket x minus x1. Yeah, actually when you have gradient equals to 0, you don't have to use this formula. You can find the line easily using a little bit sketch or something, yeah, but if you want to use this formula, you can do it also. X minus 0, all of them is 0, so we will have y equals to 0, yeah. This one is the inflection line for the first one, and the second one will be y minus y1 equals to m in the bracket x minus x1, yeah. So y plus 1 equals to -2 in the bracket x minus 1, and the value of y, not the value of y, the line will be 2x plus 2 minus 1 plus 1. Okay, there you go. This one is for example 2. Next is sketching a curve using differentiation. Yeah, we can use stationary points, increasing and decreasing function, and also inflection point, or maybe a limit, yeah, to sketch a graph. To sketch a curve, we have to find x-intercept, y-intercept, stationary points, and inflection points. So this one is the minimum minimum criteria to sketch a curve, yeah. So you have to label x-intercept, y-intercept, stationary point, and also inflection points. So for example 1, supposed to be this curve, y equals to x to the power of 4 negative 6x to the power of 3 plus 12x squared minus 8x, yeah. So you are supposed to draw this sketch. What do you do? First is you have to find the x-intercept. No, y-intercept first, yeah, it's easier. Y-intercept means x equals to 0, so you will have to substitute x equals to 0 to the function. 0 to the power of 4 minus 6 times 0, of course 0, and then plus 12 times 0 or 0 also, and 8 times 0 is 0. Yeah, all of them is 0, so you will have y equals to 0, and the point will be 0, 0 for y-intercept. And for the x-intercept, the x-intercept will be y equals to 0. That means you have to make the y equals to 0, and then you have to factorize, I guess, for polynomial expressions. Yeah, so let's okay. So for the first one, I can factorize the x easily. X in the bracket x to the power of 3 minus x 6x squared plus 12x and then minus 8. And then after that, we can factorize the x to the power of 3 using Horner method. Okay, first is we have to guess and check whether x equals to 1, x equals to 2, or x equals to negative 1 will make the result equals to 0. Yeah, so for x equals to 1, the result will be 1 to the power of 3 negative 6 times 1 plus 12 times 1 minus 8. Yeah, so it will be negative 14 negative plus 13. Yeah, it will not become 0, so x equals to 1 is not possible. Next is equals to 2, x equals to 2, you will have the value of y as 2 to the power of 3 negative 6 times 4 plus 12 times 2 minus 8. Yeah, so this one is 8, and then negative 24 plus 24 minus 8. Oh, this one is 0. Yeah, so because the x equals to 2 equals to 0, the value of the polynomial will be 0. We can do Horner with x equals to 2. Yeah, the Horner will be 1 negative 6 12 and then negative 8. Use Horner to factorize them. X equals to 2, and this one is 1 times 2 equals to 2 plus 8 negative 4 times it again negative 8, and then plus it again 4, and then the last one is 8. Okay, next is to rewrite all of them. X in the bracket x minus 2 from this one, and then for the rest will be x squared minus 4x plus 4. Yeah, okay, good. Next is to factorize one more time, x minus 2 and then x minus 2 and then x minus 2. Yeah, all of them is x minus 2, guys. Okay, so for the first one you will have x equals to 0, and for the second one you will have x equals to 2. Okay, guys, so there are only two x-intercept. Yeah, instead, although the function is x to the power of 4, yeah, but we only have two x-intercept. So the first intercept will be 0, 0, and the second intercept will be 2, 0. Okay, good. Next is to find the stationary point, and also increasing and decreasing. Yeah, decreasing. Okay, to find the stationary, you have to find the y-axis. Y-axis will be 4x cubed minus 18x squared plus 24x minus 8. Okay, we have to factorize this to find the roots. Okay, so the y-axis should be equals to 0 because stationary points happens when y-axis equals to 0, and then 4x cubed minus 18x squared plus 24x minus 8 can be divided by 2, all of them. So you will have 2x cubed minus 9x squared plus 12x minus 8, and minus 4. As usual, you have to guess and check to find the roots, the first roots. Yeah, so when x equals to, let's say 1, the value will be 2 minus 9 plus 12 minus 4. Negative 2, no. Yeah, no. For x equals to 2, the result will be 2 to the power of 3, 16. 16 minus 36 plus, you put the 2 to the y-axis ya. 12 times 2, 24, and then minus 4, negative 12 plus 12. Okay, this one is 0 yeah. So for x equals to 2, the value of y-axis is 0. That means we can corner it to negative 9, 12, negative 4. Corner it with x equals to 2. So you have 2 and then 4, negative 5, negative 10, 2 and then 4, 0. And the factorization will be x minus 2 from this one. And then from the result you will have 2x squared minus 5x and then plus 2 yeah. And then after that you can factorize it one more time using the quadratic factorization. You will have 2x minus 1 and then x minus 2 yeah, am I right? Okay, good. So you'll have x equals to 2, x equals to half, and x equals to 2 for the stationary points. Next is to find the y. To find the y, you only have to put them into the equation of the curve. Yeah, y equals to x to the power of 4, negative 6, x to the power of 3. I will calculate it for you. So when x equals to 2, the result for the value of y is equals to 0. And then for x equals to half, the result is negative 1, 11 over 16 yeah. So for this one, I just realized that this one is the same with the previous, the first answer. So I will not calculate this. So we have 2, 0. Next is I want to rewrite the stationary point 2, 0, and also half, negative 1, 11 over 16. Okay, after this we can find the increasing or decreasing function using a number line. For the number line, you will start from half and then 2 yeah, because the value of x is half and 2. And when x equals to 0, we have to test when x equals to 0, the value of y double accent will be positive or negative yeah. So 4 times 0 minus 18 times 0 plus 24 times 0 minus 8. So the y double accent will be negative. So this one is negative, this one is positive, and this one is positive yeah. Please remember that when you have two value of x, the sign will not change yeah. So we have x equals to 2 twice, and that means itu nggak akan merubah tanda ya. Jadi negatif tetap positif, negatif jadi positif, positif tetap positif ketika dia melewati angka 2. Okay, so for this one is decreasing function, and then for this one is increasing function, and this one also increasing function. So there are no change in x equals to 2. We cannot say that x 2, 0 is maximum or minimum yeah. But later we will check whether the 2, 0 is inflection point or not. So at this moment we already have stationary point. Stationary point is x equals to the stationary point will be half, negative 1, 11 over 16, and the increasing function will be at x greater than half, and the decreasing function will be at x between x less than half yeah. Okay, next is to find the inflection point. The inflection point happens when y double accent equals to 0 yeah. So the y accent is 4 to the 4x cubed. I will copy this one. To find the inflection point, you have to find the y double accent, of course. So the y double accent will be 12x squared minus 36x plus 24. You have to make it into 0. 0 equals to 12x squared minus 36x plus 24. You can divide them all by 12. So you will have 0 equals to x squared minus 3x plus 2. And therefore you will have x minus 2 and x minus 1. So x will be 2 and x will be 1. For this one we already have the y 2, 0, and for the 1 we have y equals to 1 ya. Where is the y, okay, 1. 1 minus 6 negative 5, negative 5 plus 12 equals to 7. 7 minus 8 equals to negative 1. 1 and negative 1. Okay, so we have 2 points for the inflection, but we are not known at this moment. We don't know whether the 2, 0 and 1, negative 1 will be the inflection point or not. Yeah, we have to go to the second condition. The second condition is the change value of y double accent. For the y double accent, we already have 12x squared negative 36x and then plus 24. For 2, 0, before and after, yeah, before x equals to 1, after x equals to, we cannot use 1, yeah, 1.5. After is 3 maybe. For the 1.5 you will get I guess it will be positive, yeah. 1.5 is squared will become 2.25. 24 plus 24 minus 36, yeah, okay, that will be positive. And for the 3 it will be, wait, let me calculate this. Oh, I'm sorry guys, for the 1.5 it's negative, yeah. For x equals to 3 it will be positive. So there are change of sign. That means this one is inflection point. And for the next one is 1, 1, negative 1, the before and after. Before x equals to 0, after equals to 1.5, x equals to 0 will positive, 1.5 is negative. There are change of sign, so this one also the inflection point. And how to draw it, we already finished for the preparation. Yeah, it's a lot, I know. Then the next thing will be the sketch y and x. Okay, so first is the x-intercept and y-intercept 0, 0, 2, 0. And then the second one is the stationary points, half, negative 1, half, negative 1 right here. And the next one is the inflection point. The inflection point will be 1, negative 1. 1, negative 1 is right here. And then 2, 0 is right there. Okay, so we have to connect the dot. Yeah, to connect the dot you only have to start from the stationary point. The stationary point is right here, so your drawing should be like this. And then for this one the concavity is not changed, yeah, it's still concave up. And then after you touch the first inflection point, the concavity will change. Yang tadinya concave up, now the concavity will be changed into concave down. Concave down is right here until it touch the second inflection point. After it touch the second inflection point, the concavity will change again into concave up. Tuh, jadi kayak gitu ya. So this is the sketch. Okay, and the last one is the application of differentiation, yeah. So we use differentiation usually to determine the maximum or minimum value of a problems related with a function. For example, maximum profit, maximum area or volume, and etc. So for example 1, given that the function of cost C in 1000 rupiah to produce X unit of bag is determined by fx equals to x square 100x square minus 200x plus 200, and the selling price of a bag is 150,000 rupiah. Find the maximum profit that can be earned in this problem. Yeah, so for this one we have to find the function of the question first. So the question wants you to find the profit. We already know that profit equals to sell minus cost, yeah, or sell minus buy or something, yeah. So the profit will be profit equals to sell minus, for this one is cost, yeah, because it's producing things, not resell, but produce and then selling. So the profit will be sell minus cost, and be careful for the selling price. For the selling price is for one bag, and we are not selling only one, right? We are selling X units of the bag, so the selling price should be 150,000 rupiah times the X, the number of bags we already sold. Yeah, why is X? Because we produce X unit, that means we sold X units also. And then why I write only 150, not 150,000? Because the question wants you to use the function in 1000 rupiah minus the cost. The cost will be 100x square minus 200x plus 200. Okay, so P will be 150x minus 100x square plus 200x and then minus 200, and the profit will be negative 100x square plus 350x minus 200. Okay, after this we can find the maximum profit using differentiation. Yeah, there are maximum value, minimum value. That means you have to find stationary points, right? If you read maximum profit or minimum cost, that will be stationary point. Okay, so for P equals to negative 100x square plus 350x minus 200, you can find the P accent first. For the P accent, you will have negative 200x plus 350 only. And then next is to find the stationary points. You already know that you have to make the first differentiation equals to 0. So you will have 0 equals to negative 200x plus 350. From this one, you will have x equals to 350 divided by 200. So you will have x equals to 1.75. That means you can get the maximum profit after you sell 1.75 units. Of course, this one is not applicable in real life because a bag cannot be in decimal form. Yeah, so that means maybe you can sell it by 2 bags, or yeah, 2 bags will be maximum, I think, or maybe 1. Yeah, we can check it later. So x equals to 1.75, and that means for the value of y will be not y, the profit will be negative 100 times 1.75 square plus 350 times 1.75 and then negative 200. Yeah, so the profit will be negative 100 times 1.75 square and then plus 350 times 1.75 and then minus 200. The profit will be 106.25 in 1000 rupiah. Yeah, so it will be 106,000 rupiah. Okay, just selling 1.75 bags ya, kita udah dapat 106,000 rupiah, and it will be the maximum. It not make sense ya. I just ini soalnya cuman ngarang-ngarang aja guys. Jadi kita dapat stationary point-nya itu, the stationary point is 1.75, 106.25. Okay, what does it means? That means the maximum profit will be 106.25, and it happens when you produce 1.75 bags. Yeah, of course this one is not applicable because bags cannot be decimals. So what do you do if you have this kind of problems? That means you have to find the maximum profit around the 1.75. Yeah, so let's say x equals to 1 and x equals to 2. Yeah, for x equals to 1, the profit will be, let me calculate this. So after calculating for x equals to 1, the profit is 50, and x equals to 2, the profit is 100. Yeah, so I will take x equals to 2. For selling 2 bags, you already got 100,000 rupiah. Yeah, so this one is in 1,000 rupiah. Yeah, so that one will be 50, and this one will be 106,250. Okay, so that is the application of the differentiation. I hope that you can understand it well. And also from this section, I already give you another materials actually, which is the value of minimum and maximum value in the interval of some value of x. Yeah, so you can check it later in the exercise. Okay, so that is the lesson for these chapters. We already finished the chapters. Soon we will have the test. I want you to prepare it well by doing the exercise. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.